YouTube, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to my Marathon Training 2 series. We are getting so close to episode 30 as we near the end of 2020 that it is painful and it's hard to believe that we've been going this long already. Please pardon my hood, my hair looks like poo-poo today, so we're going to do our best to get over it. But we have a lot of fun, exciting results to go over today, as well as kind of talk about narrowing in on an exact day when I'm going to run my marathon on my own. All of that and more today on this episode of my Marathon Training 2 series. Let's go ahead, jump right into it. Let's go ahead and jump right into the calendar because there's no point in beating around the bush. We actually had a very good week this week as I completed all 4 of my runs and actually completed them all semi-well. So on Tuesday, we got started with our 1 mile warm-up and then intervals of 4 by 1 mile fast, quarter mile recovery, and then of course our 1 mile cool down. We finished with 7.22 miles, 9 minutes and 20 seconds per mile, 1 hour, 7 minutes, 23 seconds total. That extra, almost quarter of a mile was essentially came down to it was late, it was getting dark. I was still about a quarter mile from home when I finished my 7 miles, and so I decided just to go ahead and, jog out that last quarter mile just to put us a little closer to home. So we even ran a little farther than we were supposed to this week rather than a little shorter like it's felt in weeks past. That moved us into Wednesday, where we had 5 miles in 57 minutes or less, 5.01 miles, 9 minutes, 50 seconds a mile, 49.15 total. This is all getting pretty standard stuff, especially now as we look to get towards the end of the year, and I'm kind of making these weeks up as they go. And I'm sure all of you eagle-eyed viewers are noticing a pattern as we get going towards the rest of the month as well. Then on Thursday, 7 miles in 72 minutes, 7 miles, 9:54 a mile, 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 20 seconds. Pretty spot on, I would say. And then finally, the big one of the week, which is definitely the highlight of the week, our Sunday run, 17 miles. The first time I've done, a bunch of miles in a few weeks. I finished it up in 17 miles, 17.01, 10 minutes, 51 seconds per mile, 3 hours, 4 minutes, 42 seconds. I think that's about as best I've done on one of these long runs in a extremely long time. I think definitely the best I've done this year on anything over 15 miles. So I think that is a great result that I'm hoping definitely helps as we get closer and closer. It definitely helped build my confidence a little bit, even though it was still extremely tough. Being able to knock out a full 17 miles pretty steadily with a handful of walking here and there. But, we're going to do what we're going to do. So that brings our weekly totals to 36.24 miles, 9 minutes and 58 seconds average pace for the week, and then a total time spent out there of 6 hours, 10 minutes, and 40 seconds. I'm going to do this. I don't know why I didn't think to add this before, but I am going to, at the end of all of this, go back through and add up the entire time that I spent running this year and kind of just do a year in review, which I probably would have gotten to eventually, but it just hit me right now that I should probably do that now that we're at least a quarter of the way through December as it stands. So keep an eye out for that in the future, and we'll play with that obviously towards the end of the year. But for now, let's go ahead. I'll jump ahead to next week, and I know it's going to look pretty similar because, like I said, I'm kind of making these up as we go, and I am, kind of just hovering around, the third to last week in the training plan I'm following, I think. And let's go through this week, and then we'll talk about it after that. How about that? So our first run this week is a 1 mile warm-up, and then a interval run of 6 by half a mile fast, and then a 0.1 mile recovery. I'm definitely going to be feeling it on this one, especially after my 17 miles on Sunday. But do those shorter intervals, quicker recoveries, and really continue to work on pacing interval levels. I love the interval runs. They keep things interesting, and it beats the monotonous just pounding away at some of these solid runs, like the really long runs. And then that brings us to our Wednesday and Thursday run. They're exactly the same as they have been the last couple of weeks, 5 miles and 7 miles respectively. I did lower the timing necessary for the Thursday run. So previously it's been 7 miles and 72 minutes. I'm giving myself an extension to 75 minutes, potentially even up to 80 minutes, because before this 20 miles at the end of the week, I want to give myself as much rest and recovery time as possible. So that may even bump up to 80 minutes on that Thursday run to, allow my body to not get pounded away too much at the beginning of the week. But then obviously, like I mentioned, 20 miles at the end of the week. I think this is going to be the last really long run I do before I decide to run the marathon. So at this point, I will probably be tapering down starting next week, and then potentially eyeing an early Christmas week marathon to kind of, as a Christmas miracle, so it would be. But that's kind of the general plan right now. We'll have some final decisions probably early next week. So you'll probably hear about it in next week's episode, or maybe I'll do a sooner episode to kind of cover the exact plan, which I may do as well. But we'll get there when we get there. We're nearing workout 200 this week. They'll hit that on Thursday, which is insane to me to think that we've had 200 of these workouts, and it's coming down to the end. It's coming down to the wire. So I'm excited to get this week going and, really get down to the nitty gritty and get down to planning out, my route that I'm going to do, as well as potential, quote unquote aid stations that I can potentially try and convince my girlfriend to help me out. So we're getting down to it. It's getting exciting. It's getting exciting around here. Hopefully this week goes smoothly. I'm pretty excited for it. That 20 miles is looming large there at the end. But for now, we'll wrap this thing up. I think these are getting a little repetitive with some of these repetitive runs, so we'll send it back to the desk. We'll wrap this thing up. We'll get you guys going out on your week ahead. And we'll see you there. Well, guys, that is going to wrap up this episode of my Marathon Training 2 series. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. I upload these every Monday or Tuesday, depending on when I actually have time to sit down and edit this thing. If you have any thoughts from this week or anything going on in your particular neck of the woods, leave a comment down below. I love to read and respond to your comments when I do get them. And so I hope you enjoyed your time on this video. I'm excited I keep saying it, but I'm excited that we're really getting down to the focal point of this entire year. And I've been getting a little nervous at the same time. But we're going to cross that bridge when we get to it. And we'll send you guys on your way. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you all have a fantastic week ahead. Go out and make the most of it that you can. And, I'll see you guys next week or sooner.